Hello everyone, I am going to work through some of the problems from the review so that you can know how to do them. We're going to start with the first page. This is that worksheet we've done a lot. We are going to start with this first column here, talking about just basic factoring. Remember, when we're factoring, we're going to want to think, what can we multiply to get the last number, -18. That adds to the middle number, -7, and that would be -9 and 2. So our factors would be x minus 9 and x plus 2, and that would be our answer. Here, this is one extra step. Our goal is to basically get rid of this number here so that we can use this method from the first column. In order to do that, we have to factor out a GCF. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this and we're going to see that all of these numbers can be divided by this front 2. So I'm going to go ahead and divide them all by 2 and move that 2 outside of the parentheses, and we're going to end up with this, x squared plus 16x plus 60. From here, now, there is no number in front of this x squared, which allows us to use this first method. And so we're going to think, what can we multiply to get 60 that adds to 16? And of course that would be 6 and 10. So then our factors would be x plus 6 and x plus 10, with this 2 hanging out in front like a third wheel. It's just along for the ride. Okay, last but not least, this is the probably more difficult way of factoring. This is when you're not able to divide out that 2. So here, it was nice because all the numbers were divisible by 2. But here, this one's not so nice because this 7 cannot be divided by 2. So what you're going to have to do to factor this is multiply the first number times the last number and write the result off to the side. From here, you're thinking, what can I multiply to get 12 that adds to 7? And of course, that would be 3 and 4. And so instead of writing parentheses like this with 3 and 4 in them, we're actually going to expand our b term. So instead of 7x, I'm going to write 3x plus 4x. Then I'm going to bring down the other 2 numbers. So this is going to be 2x squared, and this is going to be plus 6. I'm going to rewrite this so it looks a little nicer. Hold on. 2x squared plus 3x plus 4x plus 6. Okay, from here we now have a factoring by grouping problem. So what I can do is I can group my first 2 terms and my last 2 terms together, and I'm going to get 2 groups that I can consider what is the GCF of each group. So here I'm going to think, what do both of these have that I can take out? And you'll notice that they both have at least one x term. So that's what I'm going to be targeting. That's what I'm going to take out. So I'm going to take out an x, and I'm left behind with 2x plus 3. Now my goal in factoring this second group is to make this second group match my parentheses here. So what I'm going to do is think, what do I need to divide this 4 by to turn it into a 2? What do I need to divide this 6 by to turn it into a 3? And of course the answer would be positive 2. So I'm going to take out a positive 2, and then I'm left with what I wanted, 2x plus 3 in the parentheses. From here, I can look at my outsides, the things outside my parentheses, and I'll put them together in one set of parentheses. And then I'm going to look at my insides and do the same thing. I have 2x plus 3 inside my parentheses, so I'm going to put those together inside their own parentheses. And these are my factors. Okay, at the bottom left of your worksheet, you're going to find special cases. This is practicing your difference of squares, difference of cubes, oops, and sum of cubes, factoring. So your goal is to determine, first of all, which one of these special cases you're looking at, and that's the easiest by looking at one, this sign right here. If it's a minus sign, you're looking at a difference, and if it's a plus sign like this, you're looking at a sum. From there, you're going to look at your exponent, and you're going to think, is it a square or is it a cube? And once you figure that out, you'll be able to figure out which special case you are looking at. So I look here and I see a minus sign, so I know it's a difference. And I look here and I see a square, so I know it's a difference of squares. On the test, you'll have your formula sheet, and your formula will say a squared minus b squared equals a minus b times a plus b. So then you're going to use this formula to solve your special case. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the thing in front of the minus sign, and that's going to be my a squared. So a squared is 16x squared. To find a, I have to take the square root of a squared. Or I have to think, what do I square to get 16x squared? Of course, I can square 4 to get 16. And I can square x to get x squared. So I know a is 4x. Then I'm going to look behind the minus sign to find my b squared. So I see that b squared is 4, which means when I'm trying to figure out what b is, I know whatever I have to square to get 4 is b, so I know that would be 2. So I'm going to really quickly rewrite a and b up here so I can erase and make some room for our answer. From here, we're going to apply our formula. Remember, the left side of the formula tells you what to look for. That's what I'm looking at right here. The right side of the formula tells you the answer. So I'm going to take whatever a is, 4x, and write it minus whatever b is, 2. And I'm going to put that in parentheses. I'm going to do the same thing for the second set of parentheses. I'm going to take whatever a is, 4x, and I'm going to plus whatever b is. And I get this as my answer. Alright, now let's look at number 2. This one is a difference of cubes. So I'm going to use my difference of cubes formula, which if you looked on your formula sheet, you would see that it says a cubed minus b cubed equals a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. So I'm coming back over here and I'm going to figure out what a cubed minus b cubed is so I can figure out what a and b are. A cubed is the thing in front of the minus sign, so I know that a cubed is 27x cubed. So then to figure out what a is, I need to take the square root of all that, or I'm going to think, the cube root of all that, or I can think, what do I cube to get 27? That would be 3, and what do I cube to get x cubed? That would be x. So a is 3x. Okay, now I'm going to do b cubed. B cubed is 64y cubed, right here. So b would be what I cubed to get 64, which is just 4. And what I cubed to get y cubed is y. So b is 4y. So then when I write my answer, all I have to do is follow my formula. I'm going to take whatever a is, 3x, minus whatever b is, 4y, put it in parentheses, new parenthesis, and then I'm going to take whatever a is and square it. Okay, so if a is 3x, when I square 3 I get 9, and when I square x I get x squared. Then I'm going to add whatever a is times whatever b is. So I'm going to take 3x, which is a, and multiply it by b. So I'm going to get 12xy. And then, last but not least, I'm going to take whatever b is and square it. So b is 4y, so when I square 4 I get 16. When I square y I get y squared. So this would be my answer here in blue. And let's see if I can move it over. Awesome. Alright. Last but not least, we have sum of cubes. Your formula on your formula sheet is going to say a plus b times a cubed minus ab plus b squared. So let's talk about what is a cubed. A cubed is 64. What do I cube to get 64? Just 4. B cubed is 8x cubed, so b is 2x. From here we're going to apply our formula. The idea is pretty much the exact same as the difference of cubes, except there's two different signs. One's a positive sign and one's a negative sign. So I'm going to follow the same process. I'm going to take whatever a is plus whatever b is times whatever a is squared. 4 squared is 16. Minus whatever a is times whatever b is, so that would be 4 times 2x, that would be 8x, plus b squared, 4x squared. And that would be how I do special cases. Last little bit of factoring you have to know is factoring by grouping. Okay, we did a little bit of factoring by grouping earlier when we were factoring up at the top of this worksheet right here. But now we're going to see what happens when we get down to the end of these problems. I'm going to work this bottom problem here so I have plenty of room to work below it. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to start by grouping your problem. Make 2 groups. Then, just like last time, we're going to factor out a GCF. We're going to look at both of these numbers in the first group and we're going to think, what do they both have that I can take out? And you may notice that the numbers aren't divisible by any number, but they both have x terms. They both have specifically 3 x's I can take out. So when I take out 3 x's, when I divide by x3, I end up with 2x minus 5. And when I take out a GCF here, remember my goal is to match the parentheses that I got here. So, oops. So, I'm going to think, what do I need to divide 16 and 40 by to get me to 2 and 5? And the answer would, of course, be 8. So I'm going to take out a positive 8. And what I'm left behind with is 2x minus 5. From here, I'm going to do my insides and outsides. X cubed plus 8 is an outside, and in the parentheses are my insides. But what do you notice about this factor right here in red? Does it look kind of like a sum of cubes? I would say it does, so we're going to be able to factor it again. Once again, we're going to figure out that a cubed is x cubed, so a is x. B cubed is 8, so b is 2. Then I'm going to apply my formula. X plus 2, x squared minus 2x plus 4. And whatever you do, don't forget your third wheel is just hanging out over here. It's just tagging along for the ride. It doesn't change. You just rewrite it. And this would be your answer.